If you ever want to know where international cinema stands right now, you look at who can fill an IMAX theater in the United States, especially in Orlando, Florida. And Park Chan-wook filled one, a foreign language film almost sold out, packed with people who were there to experience something with intention. That alone says a lot about where audiences are drifting, and it says even more about the level of trust people put in Park Chan-wook as a filmmaker. And when he puts out a film, Cinephile show up. They know they're in good hands, and No Other Choice comes into the world already carrying attention. It has a Golden Globe nomination, Critic Choice nominations, and it will likely find a way into the Oscar conversation for international feature. And usually when a film picks up momentum that early, that question becomes, is it deserved or is it hype? In this case, the recognition makes sense. This is a strong film. It's confident, it's layered, and it carries a clarity that allows a wide range of viewers to connect with it. It's broad in the right ways, and it opens the door to people who might not watch foreign language films often, and it still gives the cinephiles the level of craft they're looking for. The story centers on a man who gets laid off, and while that sounds simple, Park Chan-wook uses that moment as a starting point for something much larger. The film becomes an examination of how people respond when the system around them changes faster than they can keep up. It becomes a look at pressure, uncertainty, and the choices people make when they no longer trust the stability they thought they had. And that feeling is so familiar to so many people today, and careers shift, companies restructure, technology evolves, and underneath all of that is that fear that something you built your life on might disappear without warning. The film never reduces this to a single argument. It's not trying to make a statement against capitalism or progress or even advancement. Instead, it's looking at the entire structure that shapes how people live and work. It looks at the anxiety of not knowing what tomorrow will look like. It looks at the emotional weight that builds when someone loses the confidence that their effort will protect them. These themes sit inside the story naturally, and they're not delivered as lectures. They're experienced through the character's choices, through the way the tension grows, through the moments where he feels pushed into situations he's never imagined facing. And what makes Park Chan-wook's approach so compelling is the way he blends tone and visual control. The film has moments of dark humor that land because they reflect real frustration. It has tension that rises slowly, almost quietly, until you realize how much pressure has built underneath the surface. And visually, every scene feels crafted. Scenes unfold like a small short films with their own rhythm and their own emotional turning point. Moments twist in directions you do not expect, and characters reveal sides of themselves that reframe everything you thought you understood. And the cinematography shifts tone and mood without pulling focus away from the people. And you can feel the confidence behind each choice. And nothing is rushed, nothing is exaggerated. The pacing lets you sit with the character while also discovering layers that shape him. What's interesting about No Other Choice is that it works on multiple levels. And if you want a grounded character study, it delivers that. If you want a darkly comic look at how systems push people, it delivers that. And if you want to feel suspense of a story that keeps opening up new angles, it delivers that too. It never falls into one category. That flexibility is what makes the film accessible. You do not need to be familiar with Park Chan-wook's earlier work to connect with this. You do not need a background in international cinema. If you like films that explore pressure and competition and the uncertainty of modern life, this one speaks directly to that. I think what stayed with me most is how universal it feels. The pressures in the film are not specific to any one country, any one industry, or any one demographic. They are the pressures so many people understand today. The fear of becoming replaceable. The fear of being left behind, the fear of losing the piece of life you spent years building. And the film presents those fears without preaching. It presents them as lived experiences. And the honesty is what gives the film its impact. And for young cinephiles or people exploring international films for the first time, No Other Choice is a great entry point. It gives you strong characters, a clear emotional arc, surprising turns, and a level of craft that helps people understand why filmmakers like Park Chan-wook are so respected. It also shows how international cinema can speak directly to the movement we're living in, sometimes more sharply than the films we see in the mainstream here. And being in that IMAX theater filled with people reacting to a foreign language film made me so hopeful. It reminded me that audiences are still curious. They're still open to being challenged. They're still willing to explore stories outside their routine. And when a film earns that kind of audience, it means the work is resonating. And I would love to know what you thought of this film and what moments stuck with you, and what themes felt closest to your own, and where you think this film sits among Park Chan-wook's work. I appreciate you going on this film journey with me, and as always, be real.